Welcome everyone to this full army showcase where we will be taking a closer look at my fully painted and based Spartan army. I spent most of the year working on this one. The white linen armour was tedious at times, but I'm pleased with the results and they should look great on the table come December when I'll be with my group at War Games in Brum. But anyway, people have asked me what rules I'm using for these, and it is ADLG, or ADLG as it's most commonly known. It's a fantastic DBA style Ancients rule set, and the best part is it's all in one book. 3/4 of it is army lists from various periods of history, and I've gone for the classical Greek Spartans. Like any other rule set, you have points and restrictions, but if you've ever built an army for any other game before, it's pretty straightforward. On to the showcase anyway, and first up are my generals. Based separately, as the rules recommend, we have Brasidas, who is a footsore model, and a First Corps model is alongside him. I do like footsore, they make some cracking sculpts that are a joy to paint. Then we have Themistocles, the guy from 300 Rise of an Empire, on horseback, as he will be with my cavalry corps. Now these models are from First Corps also. And lastly we have my main man Leonidas, a giants in miniature model with a First Corps one beside him. I just love how imposing this model is, and he was a joy to paint up, especially the 6-pack. I was ecstatic when Giants in Miniature announced this one and just instantly pre-ordered him. He is the centerpiece of my army and fits perfectly with the theme. Next up though is the backbone of the army, my hoplites, of which I have 12 bases, or elements if you want to call them by their proper term. My first 6 elements are the Spartan hoplites, which are the elite variant. Elite in ADLG basically means if you roll low, you get a +1 bonus to help you out. Think of it as a bit of protection against low rolls. That'd be quite useful, and these guys can take armour also, which I might consider as I keep going up against pikemen and elephants in this period. But both sets of models are by Victrix, an amazing company for Ancients, and I'll be picking more up from them in the future. The detail is great. They were a slog to paint, I'm not gonna lie, as linen armour can take a while, but I went for a black and red with my elite Spartans as I saw these colours on a reenactment society on Google and just fell in love with it. The shields are also basically just bronze because of the 300 theme. They are that way in the movie series, and I honestly find them quite imposing. All you see is this huge wall of bronze and spears, and I'm hoping it puts some of my opponents off and lets me try and dictate a little bit of the gameplay, especially combined with the blue and white of the Athenians. The models I think are gorgeous to look at, but my god did they take forever to paint. Linen armour is a slog and a half, especially 48 of them, but I think they work, and that is it for them really. I don't have to add any more Athenians to the army. They are the lesser hoplites when compared to the elite Spartans, and haven't performed amazing in the games that I have had, but I'm still getting used to the nuance of the game, so I might just have to get better at it. Next we have my pièce de résistance though, and it's my actual 300 Spartan minis. Made by Crocodile Games, these models are just terrific. They have the shields, helmets and capes of the movie. They are just stood in their pants. What's not to love about these guys? I recommend Crocodile Games for these minis, and it's just a shame they are so difficult to get hold of in the UK, as I honestly think I would have got more. They fit the theme perfectly and just look the part on the table, especially if you pair them up with Leonidas. The light infantry are next, and these were the first models I've ever painted up for the army. I've got 4 elements of javelinmen and 4 elements of bowmen. You can only take 4 elements in total in the game, and they can be a mixture of the 2 types, but I do think the bowmen have performed better so far for me, especially as they have better range. It's just the threat of elephants in the classical period that you have to watch out for, so javelins are a little bit of a necessity to at least put pips on them, and that's all these light guys do really. They screen your army and try to prevent an initial charge, run away and harass. Get lucky and they all put pips on your opponents, but they don't really do much in games except evade. Still, they were nice models again by Victrix and painted up pretty fast. The Thracians are up next, and this completes the infantry in my army. Exceptional models by Victrix and Foundry. The metal Foundry minis in the front are by far some of the best looking of my entire force in my opinion. Designed by the Perrys I believe. They just have so much character in each individual model, and it does show what can be achieved by great sculptors. That bit of character can be lacking in a lot of the minis now. Even the rank and file guys from Victrix lack it, but they do the job as a collective. Sometimes a bit of individuality is needed in an army though, even if it's only for yourself and won't get noticed on the field of play. But I will be getting more minis from Foundry, as I was so pleased with these guys. Even if they are slightly more expensive at 2 to 3 quid a mini. I went for a white anyway to distinguish these from the light infantry. And the off colour of green I think is quite impressive. I call it Eagles green as it reminds me of the Philly Eagles from the NFL, but my attempts at custom shields kind of backfired and they look very sloppy. But in a game it's really unnoticeable, so instead of going back I decided to just leave them and learn from it instead. Next up though are the cavalry, and Spartans don't have access to that whatsoever. They get a total of 4 elements. 2 light horse with javelins and 2 medium cavalry which are mediocre, and what that basically means is that the higher you roll the more you will suffer, as any dice over 4+ gets a -1 to its result. It's nasty in game really, and so I think I'm kicking them out, but I would lack speed and board pressure without them. I just haven't found a way to utilise their points cost yet. But these minis are by Victrix again, really good sculpts and simple to paint. I was worried about them originally as it had been years since I'd painted nags, but I needn't have been. They were a joy to do. It's just a shame I don't think they are worth it in game, especially when compared to other forces in the same era. Lastly though, we have my camp, and it's such a shame I ran out of money as I wanted to add so much more to this in terms of extra miniatures. I wanted a small diorama, which I can always add at a later date when Xmas is out the way with 4 kids and a wife to buy for, especially when it's Nintendo Switch promised year. But these camps are by Perry and do the job. They're painted up easy and it does nothing in game but sit at the back of the board and get attacked by a light horse you can't catch up with, but it still looks good anyway. That's the full army. Anyway guys, 200 points and a lot of hard work, but it was amazing to do them, and ancients are something I never thought I would be interested in. I put it off as long as I could and eventually got suckered in, and honestly I'm really happy I did now, as I love these guys and I'm looking at adding another army. Probably Galatians, rampaging Celtic warriors with chariots. That should be a fun experience. Anyway, here's the final shot of the force. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not drop me a subscribe or even check out one of the other videos YouTube recommends for you. I now have a second channel as well where I discuss movies and video games, and if that's something you're interested in, why not check it out also. Thanks for watching.